I'm here with one of the most special characters special people with a ton of character that you're ever going to be able to meet in cigars. Known as the Sartorial Tobacconist, your real name is Anu Amenra.
Yes. Good job, Brian.
There's a middle.
Good,
There's
it's
a middle
SETI.
to this. What?
SETI.
Okay, and what does this mean what language?
So it has a couple meanings. In Sanskrit, it's the name of God, so it'd be like the
Anu.
Anu.
Right.
And the Choctaw language is the one who was born of the river. So
Okay.
of course, shout out to Mississippi, the Mississippi River. Yep. In Nigeria, the name I think is the Yoruba tribe. It means mercy.
Okay.
So it has a couple cool names, and it's even a Hindu god name as well. So even in India, it's people who have the name Anu.
I saw that when I searched it. Now, your people, your parents, your family gave you that name with the Choctaw
perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's an interesting story, man.
Because you are Native American.
I am Choctaw and Creek. Yes. All right.
Wow.
So I was born under a different name. So I changed my name.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay.
So a cool story. So
Okay.
I'm the artist. My first name was born Christopher.
Okay.
All right. So, however, in our tradition, we give spiritual names that are normally only kind of invoked during healing purposes, during prayer. Anu was the name that was given as a spiritual name. So your mother, matriarch or patriarch of your family, if you were on your sick bed or something, when they make prayers to spirit, it's a spirit name, kind of like having a godfather.
Okay.
So like a spirit, a God invoking name.
Yeah.
So and that's the name. So I chose to wear it when I became an adult.
Okay, so you chose to take that on as your actual government name. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So then it's
We definitely have to do long format of this, but I'm in this video want to somehow give them a little bit of your story. So I'm gonna do a little narration, and you're gonna chime in.
okay.
So you grew up in Mississippi. Where in Mississippi?
Jacktown, Presidential Hills to be exact.
Okay,
Northside.
all right. And so this is the heart of the South.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you're starting to look like a troubled young teen. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was outside.
Okay. Okay, you got in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
And you were given, which I think is so, man, they used to do this in all the states.
Yeah.
I don't know any state that does it anymore. Maybe Mississippi still does, but you had the option of you could go to juvie.
Go to war, go to jail. Send me to war, baby. I ain't want to go to jail.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Best decision. Shout out to my recruiters, man. Sergeant Foster and Sergeant Richard, man. Took care of me, man. Had a beautiful, stellar military career, brother.
So tell me about that.
Okay, so I enlisted in the military right at 17 years old.
Is this the Army?
Army.
Okay.
Army. Yep. So I enlisted as a PV1 in the Army while I was in high school. So I was in a delayed entry program. From there, didn't really want to be in the military at the time, but my grandfather was in the military, so it was kind of like one of those things where I quickly tightened up. When I figured out at the time, it was either I didn't have much to do. I fell in love with the military, the discipline and structure it gave me, and then decided like, hey man, go all out with it. So from there, I've had combat tours to Afghanistan. I chose to go to.
You have had combat tours.
I've had combat tours
Where?
to Afghanistan, Kandahar province. Yep.
Wait, that's in Afghanistan.
That's in Afghanistan.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
So from
and
there,
thank you for your service.
man, I
of course.
appreciate it, my brother. I love being an American. So then after that, man, I
Love
decided I didn't really like people telling me what to do. So I said I wanted to be the boss. So I decided I wanted to be an officer. So I made corporal on the enlisted side. I decided from there I wanted to get my commission. So I went to Georgia Military College, which is like a West Point feeder school, the Air Force Academy School. So it's located in Milledgeville, Georgia, which is the pre-antebellum capital of Georgia, where the Civil War and all of that happened, and that's where the generals were meeting and stuff. And I got my commission from there, and spent the rest of my time as an officer. Got out as a captain. Got a chance to be in command.
Wow, what a story!
Did some cool shit.
What a story! If you stop there, it's a movie. But you did not stop there. Can you tell these people you roll cigars professionally. This is
Yes.
what you do for a living,
That's what I do
day
for-
in, day out.
yeah.
It's not like what you do on Saturday at 5
Nah,
o'clock.
I live this.
Yeah. And so you roll cigars for a living. Tell the people at home where, and get specific about where you learned how to roll cigars by hand.
Okay, so now when we talk about the cigar journey, I'm a tobacconist. I do this every day. So of course, when you start thinking about premium cigars and wanting to get to learn the information and get your hands on, this is a trade. I went to Cuba to learn. Got a chance to deal with the Cohiba factory, and I got a chance to do some.
Stop right there. This man learned how to roll cigars. He's from Jackson, Mississippi, and he learned how to roll cigars in the Cohiba factory in Cuba.
It was a cool situation, and then I got a chance to do some outskirt missions. When I told you offline how I used to roll some cigars in people's houses, they hold me for the sideline missions to make some extra cash. Then also, man, from there, man, I spent a lot.
Dude, I'm just blown away, man. I'm just blown away. If y'all want to follow someone and support someone authentic, this is it. This is it. This is the kind of story that is the reason why I've been a little bit of a pain in the ass to a lot of brand owners. Cause it's like, man, come on, give me some authenticity. It's here.
And then to that journey, man. Of course, that's just one part, of as you would know as a professional in the industry, that it's a long line of things that go into producing the final product.
Of course.
And having that subsequent education for me was a journey. Not only just understanding the craft and how to actually make cigars itself, but actually understanding the spiritual undertones, cultural undertones.
The details are even better because from what I understand, you got to apprentice there, and you would go in short bursts. How many times have you been to Cuba?
27.
27 times. Okay, wow. And so you would work as an apprentice, but you started sweeping up. They wouldn't let you just hit a rolling table, right?
Yeah.
So you started from the bottom, worked your way up a little bit, and then you ended up becoming the cigar roller's cigar roller.
Yeah, making them for the guys' leisure time smokes and stuff, and then
but they only get a certain amount of time for a break.
Yeah, it's very short. Sometimes it ranges depending on seniority and who's who, because people had favorites and stuff.
So these are the people that make cigars. I imagine they're pretty critical of the cigar they have to smoke. They're smoking.
Yeah, well, I told you they told me a lot of my shit was trash when I first started. But I got better, of course. But that's not even necessarily the part that I love most about it, man, was when I was outside of the factory, when I was in people's homes, like doing a domino game.
Did they? And do you speak Spanish at all?
I speak cigar Spanish just enough,
Okay.
but not like
So
I can't.
were they surprised why you were an American? Would go there, and were they curious as to what you were really doing there?
Well, most of it was spiritual reasons. Again, so when I spend a lot of time on cultural anthropology. You know what I'm saying? Really kind of getting to. I just don't go. If a place is known for making denim, what's the story behind the denim?
Okay.
If you cook soul food, what's the story behind how soul food came about? And so for me, my family shares a spiritual paths. With the people of Cuban ancestry, which would be Palo. So our family practices Palo. Now, some people don't openly claim to practice Palo, but my family practices Palo.
Okay.
All right, so that's nothing.
Does this have any relation to Taino Indian?
In the Arawaks, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
In Arawak.
And but also a big portion of the slave trade that ended up bringing people from the diaspora ended up in Cuba. So
Okay.
so this is a Afro-Cuban spiritual system. So which is my primary reason for wanting to even learn or be there in the first place.
Okay.
Because now we're talking about why the tobacco is used. And so in my family, as I told you offline, we use tobacco for medicine. I use it in my hair. Y'all see my skin? I look good, don't it? You know what I'm saying? So, we use it for medicine. We use it for common colds. When I got chicken pox, my grandma put me in a hot tub of water, dumped tobacco leaves in there to turn the oil on it, kept me from itching, and helps with inflammation. You can use it for colds, help with mucus. So we use it for medicine, but we also use this as to honor our dead. You know what I'm saying? To give offerings to our dead, to appease spirit, which no one will deny this, that, Mexicans, all of South America, the Caribbeans, we share Africans. We share this commonality with each other. The veneration of our dead and how tobacco has historically been used to do so, and that's a commonality. Brothers and sisters of the leaf. You know what I'm saying? quite literally, quite literally. So, for my Maduro brothers, and I'm using Maduro as a quotation for blacks, and for my Connecticut shade people, you know what I'm saying? I kind of teeter in the sun-grown section right up in the middle.
I love that, bro.
But cultural anthropology, kind of, the cigar, the tobacco. I spent a lot of time in learning in their homes about their families. The families made me find out why. I got all of the questions to my spiritual concerns. I got a chance to practice while people were drinking coffee. But then also from there, once I had the skill, it's a thing that you got to keep doing. So then how do you nurture that and how do you bring some expertise to the marketplace? That took me to where I'm a tobacconist. Y'all do this every day. I'm still a tobacconist at a retail location. I'm a tobacconist at the Country Square in Jackson, Mississippi, which is an LCA account holder. Shout out to y'all.
Wow.
Big supporters of.
It's supposed to be an amazing shop too. It's the oldest.
It's the oldest cigar shop in Mississippi. Been open since August 11, 1970.
Wow.
Started by the Reeves family. Now the proprietor is John David Cole, who is my children's godfather.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Which speaks to Mississippi and its heritage. And our cool story, man. But I've done that. I've worked at D&B Cigar Corner in Mesquite, Texas. I've worked for Dunhill and BAT. BAT owns RJ Reynolds, so I did sales and stuff.
Focus on next, because I know
Sure.
you've been asking for
I want a cigar.
cigar.
He been holding it out, man. Okay.
This is a special cigar. This is your first national release.
Yes. Can I have one?
Yes. It's such a beautiful thing, man. And so now we're really proud of this project because we get to introduce you to all of the rest of the people that don't know you.
Yeah,
so that's awesome. I'm proud to be a part of your story because I think you're onto something, and I think you're just destined for greatness.
And shout out to Cam and Brandon and the I Am Iconic tour. He spoke to that with me.
Yeah, I didn't want to know. I didn't. I don't know how. If you wanted me to mention that.
Oh man, well, it's another angle at being a tobacconist. You know what I'm saying? So I'm from Mississippi, so Mississippi is known as the hospitality state. So when we think about where can cigars be served and under what auspices? You know what I'm saying? So I travel. I'm happy to serve. So when we use the term cigar valet, don't y'all like the term cigar valet? Gives you very astute gentleman butler vibes, type of thing where you curate the ambiance, you serve the patrons, you actually be a tobacconist.
As an American, okay, or at least with my American experience, life experience, right? I grew up, I would never, ever use that word serve. Ever. That was not cool. Boss, whatever. But serving someone, and then I found cigars. And I found out that I had been chasing a music career because really what I wanted to do was serve people in mass. And then I was able to realize it fully when I got into cigars and started getting some thank you letters. And the whole purpose of Privada Cigar Club, really, as a cigar club, the reason why it's a subscription is because every month I'm putting my heart and soul into that box, into the writing, into the story, into the procuring of that product. It is my way of serving people. And man, when you realized how much joy you can get out of serving people, it's
you do a really good job, brother.
Thank you, man. I
know
appreciate
that. You a hard ass. For sure. But somebody got to do it. You know what I'm saying? And if not you, then who? You know what I'm saying? Well, you do a really
No
good
one.
job. And you have built a really good community, which I would like to throw a quote out there that my grandmother told me all the time.
How old's your grandmother?
106.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
So wherever there's a community, there's an economy, and you've built a very great community. Community first, people love it or hate it. People, love what you're doing. They love how you're doing it. They love, your attentiveness to what they're saying,
Yeah.
and what their desires are.
That brings me so much happiness.
Yeah. So, and that's the primary thing. So, and that's why I like, we're just now getting to the point where we're making a national release and I'm happy to do it with you, because I like to be in front of people. I serve, weddings, corporate functions. I've got a chance to roll cigars for the governor of my state, Secretary of State, the Black Caucus, you name it. I've been at birthday parties. I've done repasses, man. I roll cigars at repasses, weddings.
What's that?
A repass when somebody dead, man.
Okay.
After the after the funeral, man, they've gone home.
They repass.
The repass, yeah. So it's pretty much like the after party to the funeral, almost.
Like sit and shiver.
Yeah, they have food and they congregate, and I've rolled cigars there. I've done all kinds of functions wherever people can gather for a celebratory occasion. I've gotten a chance to do that, but to see the impact, okay.
Bro,
I'm glad
what the fuck?
Hey,
what the fuck
talk
is
that,
this,
talk
man?
that talk, Brian.
What is this,
talk
bro?
that talk.
Holy shit! First of all, the cold draw was so good, I didn't want to light the cigar. Then I was like, he's smoking. I should just light it.
I've been this man won't give me the cigar, man. I'm like, hey guys, Will, can I have a cigar, please?
So I love the band because it's funky and it's fun and it'll jump right off shelves. It's also the first band that's had the LCA bottom attached to it, which is how we're going to do all LCA releases going forward. There's a few that won't have it, but within 4 months from now, everything will have it so that someone can spot, oh, that's an LCA cigar. We needed that. We got 3 years of putting out hit records over here, and fucking, you wouldn't know one from the next. So now you'll know this is LCA or that's LCA plus. So
Brian Destiny and the Providians, everybody.
So tell us about the blend on the cigar. I kind of helped you a little bit with some of the. You do everything by hand, so the challenge was finding some, people that we can trust with your craft.
Sure.
You don't want your blends altered.
Sure.
Okay. So this is a
deal.
Cameroon
Hybrid, yep.
Okay.
So Habano hybrid. We using some. The filler is from Nicaragua, and we also using some Peruvian tobacco as well. And then we got some trade secrets in between that we gonna keep that sauce separately.
Well, I did also see there was a Dominican Piloto, which gives it that
on the
sweetness.
binder side. Yep, for sure.
And that's one thing I'll say. I ask Nicaraguan cigar makers all the time, how come you use the Dominican tobacco? And they say, oh, well, it's for combustion. It's for bullshit. Dominican tobacco, the Piloto offers a sweetness that not other tobacco can. I've had this very unique experience where we're constantly making limited edition cigars, so I can work with a lot of different factories and I can get to know them somewhat intimately. The better they are, the more intimately I get to know them because I want more of their product. And so you learn different things, and it's a connect the dots kind of thing. So it's important for us to keep an open dialogue because the science is getting better, and now some of the tradition can get better because you can merge some of those traditional, methods and processes, which brings us to the name of the cigar, which is Stephen. And I know this story, and the reason why I know this story is because Henke Kellner told me that a slave in Virginia created the way that we cure tobacco today. And I had chills. I said, how does this man, a Dominican man with Dutch background, know that there's, and this is what brings American history so deep into tobacco,
Sure,
right?
for sure.
People don't understand that. We think it's just Latin. It's not. And so I've been blown away with this story. If you kind of want to get into there's not much to it as far as I know it.
Yeah,
from
okay.
reading
Yeah,
it online.
and I'll keep it simple. In lieu of Maduro History Month, starting in February. The storyline goes, man. It's a story we once told. It's a brother named Steven. Essentially, they told that it was the head man on the plantation, essentially in charge of watching over the tobacco and while it was fermenting and curing. And it's a few narratives on this, but the most commonly agreed on narrative is that he fell asleep and end up, setting some of the work on fire. All right, and which I'm sure probably pissed somebody off, but it didn't. It turned the tobacco into
Bright leaf.
Bright leaf tobacco,
Yeah.
high yellow, which is this particular plantation owner is the fundamental backing behind major companies as we know today, like R.J. Reynolds. Slade.
That was his name, Slade.
Yeah, big politician guy.
He died broke though.
Yeah,
He had problems.
unmarked grave, and all the slaves left, man. They walked off. But this is like 6 years after the Fugitive Slave Act of 1950. So everybody was kind of like,
1850.
Man, 1850. Yeah, I'm tripping. They like, screw that. I'm out of there. You know what I'm saying? So cuz went broke when they cuz went broke. Hey, but we got
He died broke.
We got some good tobacco out of the mix, man, and
Yeah.
a lot of so when y'all think about this type of tobacco is typically used in what you would like your Class 28 cigarettes and pipe blends, your Virginia blends.
People still use the process to a large degree in cigar tobacco.
Yeah, the
as well.
fire cured and a lot of other types of and particularly that type of tobacco is really good for wounds, like treating wounds, hair loss. If you knew that or not, hair loss. It's a mild astringent, so does really well with like inflammation of the scalp. So if you're having hair loss due to too much shaving, you can rub it over your head and all that type of stuff. You can put it in combinations with mullein and rum to make like elixirs or tinctures, if you will. So it's very,
That's super cool.
very, very, very useful, man. So with that, man, my whole point was just trying to, highlight the black contribution to this tobacco industry, in a way. Of course, we didn't come up with the style of the cigar of rolling when that came in Spain, but Cubans end up kind of claiming it and making it their own and making it big. But we did have a substantial impact.
Yeah.
But this is the thing that most of our families did. Our families, from the
Please
South.
Please talk about that.
Okay, so man, my grandma picked cotton. My family and cotton and tobacco, man. And tobacco for us, we grew tobacco on our land. And it's always been a part of our family's land, just as much as cotton, tomatoes, okra, etc. The whole gamut. And in the South, man, it's not very uncommon to find people who grew things. When you hear the average story, most black families have somebody, their grandparents were sharecroppers or something, and grew something. So with this collection, and with your help, we get a chance to highlight that the fact that, hey, man, this is what we were forced to do, and then at a point we kept doing it because it's what we were good at, and then and we've made businesses out of it. We've healed ourselves with it, and I just thought, hey, what a fitting name for to start Black History Month with something new that people may not have known.
Yeah.
And we can have this conversation as gentlemen and ladies.
Yeah.
About our particular histories. As brothers and sisters of the leaf. In lieu.
Well, I see a lot of black cigar smokers out there, and like most things that black people do, you guys make it look great and fun, and there's a lot of joy. I see groups of guys. When I pass this certain shop downtown here, I always see groups of dudes out there, 40, 35 to 45, maybe even 50, and just generations of people like having a good time smoking a cigar, and it looks fun. And I think cigars need that tremendously.
Yeah, well, in the beginning, when we hear the organized story about tobacco and the whole Cohiba ritual, and it was gathering in congregation, far as in community, man, and that's the one thing that tobacco has done for me. It's done for you. We've met over tobacco.
Yeah.
We come from different walks of life.
Oh
but,
my gosh.
But the leaf, brings us together. But it also is a proven commodity around the world to bring the world together. It brought continents together. It brought regions of people together. It introduced cultures and languages and spiritual traditions.
It sure did. That's one thing we can definitely get into for sure.
Yeah.
Look, it's a lot to take in. This is a very, very special cigar release. I'm proud to be a part of it. I think it's awesome, especially for the shops to be able to get to know you through your cigars, and now to have a story to go with it. And we have so much content to make together. It's unbelievable. Your life is a movie, and I hope to get little pieces of that. So I appreciate you coming here and doing this for us, and I appreciate you releasing this with us. I'm sure there are some big companies out there that would have really liked to have your first release, and we got it. So there you go. How about that?
And shout out to the people that's part of the LCA, man, who the shops, so the local tobacconists. So it ain't just a buy-in from your cigar enthusiasts. It's a buy-in from the brick and mortar establishments, which I believe are a huge anchor in our community to give us an opportunity to bridge community and bring people together to fellowship. So y'all are really the MVPs, man. We thank you for supporting.
Thank you for giving us a shot.
Yeah, giving me an opportunity to enter your doors, maybe for the first time, and I hope it won't be the last time. So, in lieu of that, man, peace to the tribe locally and the tribe worldwide. I'm Chief Anu Amenra, hailing from the north side of Jack, Presidential Hills to be exact. You can find me on all social media profiles at The Sartorial Tobacconist. You can check me out on www.sartorialtobacconist.com. Wherever you put the smoke in the air, you soon to find me.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Hashtag we are a provider. Hashtag we are the industry. Hashtag we are family.
Yes, Lord.